Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be ranking all the gaming consoles from S being the best to D being the worst. And I already put a ton of them consoles that I've never played, or never heard of and never played. So that's pretty. I guess you guys should understand what that means. Anyways, so let's get right into it, and we'll start it off with a banger. And with the PS5. I'm gonna put in this. I heard it's just amazing. It's a great console, and if I got the Xbox Series X instead of the PlayStation 5, but I heard it's a great console. Now moving on to a computer. This is not really a console, but I guess if you want to say that, it's also an S. It's a great. The computer is amazing. I think a lot of people love a computer. Moving on to the Xbox Series S. I used to this is not bad, no disk drive is what I don't like. But it's cheaper, and if you want a good console, then it's good. I'm gonna put it in B. Moving on to Master System. I've never heard of that console. Moving on to the Xbox Series X. I have this console like I just said. This is S tier. It's great. Moving on to the Genesis, I've heard it's a good console. It's older, but it still doesn't seem like a horrible console, so I'm going to put it in A. Moving on to the Game Boy Pocket, I don't know how good this is. I've never played it. I've only played these two, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, so yeah. Moving on to the Steam Deck, it looks super good, so I'm going to put it in A. Now moving on to the Game Boy, I heard it's a really good console. I'm going to put it in B. Now moving on to the Game Boy Color, I'm going to put it in C. It was okay, but it's not my favorite. Moving on to the Nintendo 64, another console that I didn't play. There's so many older consoles that I've never played or heard of, so yeah, I've never played that. As well as the Neo Geo Pocket, I don't know what that is. PlayStation, it's Gen 2. I've never really played that either, but then the PlayStation, it's the start of course, the PlayStation, and it's probably really good. Old school, but still, that's not horrible. It's still pretty good. Moving on to the 3DO. What is the 3DO? I do not know what the 3DO is. The Tiger Gamecom. I also don't know what that is. Moving on to the original Xbox. I heard it's a pretty good console, I would guess, right? But again, I've never played it, but I'm gonna put it in B. Moving on to the Xbox One S. I think this is a great console. I think it's better than just Xbox One. Original Xbox One. I'm gonna rate this and that just now, so I'm gonna put this in B and this in S. Moving on to the Game Boy Advance. I've never played it. Moving on to the Game Boy Micro. I've never played it once again. Moving on to the GameCube. I heard it's a great console, but I've never played it. But I want to rank it. I want to put it in C. Moving on to the GBA SP. I've never heard of it. There's so many consoles. N-Gage I've never heard of. Dreamcast I've never played. Now moving on to the PlayStation 2 Gen 2. I never played that, but it sounds not too bad. PlayStation 2 has to be in B. It's a great console. Now the Xbox 360E, I didn't like. I thought it wasn't that good, so I'm going to put it in just C. It's not that great of a console. Moving on to the Xbox 360S. I think this is the console I had. And I loved the Xbox 360S. I'm going to have to put this in S tier. Probably one of the best consoles to ever come out. Moving on to the original Xbox 360. Again, I think this is S. You can't just say that's not an S. Like, come on. Moving on to the DS Lite. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I'm going to put it in B. Moving on to the DSi XL. I don't remember this console. Maybe I played this, but from what I know, I don't know what that is. I've heard of it. I know what it is. I just never played it. As well as the DSi. Moving on to the DS. This is a classic. I think a lot of people like the DS. Now moving on to the Wii Mini. I heard it wasn't that good. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, let me know down below. Moving on to the Wii. I'm going to have to put this in A. I think it was a great console. It was really fun with friends. Now moving on to the PS3 Gen 2. Actually, let's start with the PS3 just in general. The PS3 was another great console. I'm going to have to put it in A. Moving on to the PS3 Gen 2. I just think the PS3 was a great console. So I'm going to put that in A as well as the PS3 Go Gen 3. Now moving on to the PSP Go. I heard the PSP sucked, so I'm going to guess it was bad, and I'm just going to put it in D because I never played those consoles. Now moving on to Gizmodo Tiger. I don't know what that is. I've never played it. If you guys had and it was good, let me know down below. Now moving on to Google. Google has a console. Once again, this is a console I never played. Now moving on to Xbox One X. I heard this. A lot of people didn't like this on console, so yeah, but a lot of people didn't like the Xbox One X. I know that it had a lot of issues when it first released, so I'm gonna put it in D. Maybe I'm wrong and maybe it's not that bad. If it isn't, let me know down below. Moving on to the 2DS, I'm going to put this in A tier. It's a great console. As well as the 2DS XL. Moving on to the 3DS, it's another really good system. As well as the 3DS XL was a good system as well. Now moving on to the 3DS XL, new one. I've never played it, so I'm going to put it in never played, as well as the new 3DS. Moving on to the Switch, I'm going to put this in S tier. Great console. Going to put it right there. Moving on to the Switch Lite, I heard it's a pretty good console, but I've never really played it that much, so I'm going to put it in B. Moving on to the Wii U, I heard this console sucked. I'm going to put it in D. Moving on to the Ouya, I don't know what that is. I never heard of it. Moving on to the Neo GX, I've never heard of it. As well as never heard of that. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. Or that. Or that. Moving on to the PlayStation 4, a great console, S tier, as well as the PlayStation 4 Pro, and then the PlayStation 4 Gen 2, I think it says. I couldn't really tell, but again, PlayStation 4 is a great console. PlayStation TV, I never knew there was a PlayStation TV, so I'm gonna put it never played. PS Vita, PS Vita wasn't that good. Evercase handheld, I've never heard of, as well as Game and Watch. It doesn't seem bad. I'll put it in C. Moving on to the Switch OLED. If I said that right, I'm gonna put it in B. Anyways, that is the tier list. If you guys do enjoy this video and you guys want to see more tier lists, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.